It's a show that is celebrating potentially a World Series. It's the Pain and Panic Podcast. Adam Sheets, Chris Reynolds. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, but I'll tell you this: Trey Savage is awesome. That's all I gotta
Are
say.
we not talking about the Juan Soto jersey behind me?
$700 million to not make the playoffs? Yeah, we'll talk about it. I look, Trey Savage can't disappoint me for the rest of the series. He's probably not going to play, so I'll be pretty happy.
The thumbnail, the title, all about football. I asked you if you want to talk about the World Series.
I said I was going to mention it.
I don't want to jinx anything. And then on the football episode, we start with baseball. It's fine.
I said I was going to talk. I said I was going to shout out Trey Savage. He's from Pottstown, Pennsylvania, and he had one of the best starts by a rookie in postseason history. You got to acknowledge it.
Just jealous. It's fine. It's fine.
7 innings, 3 hits, 12 Ks, 1 run.
Yeah,
we'll take it against that offense.
The Dodgers need to start spending some money. They get the postseason every time.
They're not spending enough. I think
they need more big names too.
Yeah, triple down. We'll say Dodgers. A lot of people are saying it's over. I joked about it in the open, but with Yamamoto pitching, it's never over, guys. So that's. He might pitch both games. They might just let him go back to back, like 300 pitches in 2 days. Just go at it. And he's a robot.
Probably the Blue Jays, they're favored to win the series, but the Dodgers might be favored to win each game.
What makes no sense is I think they actually flipped that the Blue Jays are favored in Game 6, and I'm like, how? I'm like, they really, the starting pitching has affected one game, and it was the one Yamamoto pitched. It's like because they've been able to get after all the other starters, even the 18-inning loss they got after Glasnow a little bit. So I mean, like it's interesting. It'll be fun. It's been a great series. It's been great for baseball. Yeah. But we'll get back into football because Chris doesn't want to. Mets really hurt him this year. He doesn't want to talk much about baseball.
One of the worst seasons I remember, honestly, pain-wise. But yeah,
it was a fun start. But you were in Disney.
It always
you didn't
is,
get to
Adam.
watch.
It always is.
You were in Disney. You didn't get to watch much.
No, I was watching.
You were watching. You made sure to tune in.
I had in the beginning said I was like, they play every day and you watch. I'm like, yeah. And so unless I was working, I usually had it on at the very least.
There you go. I appreciate it. True fan. But we're going to get into football here. Big weekend coming up. Last week we were talking about kind of a sleepy week, but of course
Last week was terrible, Adam.
Yes.
Last week there was one
games.
game in like the 1 and 4 o'clock times where it was like within one score.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm saying, like, going into the slate, like, looking at matchup games. Like, you could have told yourself going in that Broncos-Cowboys was going to be a good game. Like, you could have told yourself.
But none of them were, Adam. There was one close game, and it was Bengals-Jets.
Dang right, baby.
The only close game. That was pretty underwhelming.
Phenomenal. Was a great game. But, this week, it feels like on paper we have a better slate. Of course, you got Falcons-Patriots, which is going to be a fun game to watch. Patriots playing really well. The Falcons are interesting. Michael Penix plays. They're an interesting team. We said they're up and down. They're like a roller coaster.
You led with Falcons-Patriots?
Well, it's because I flipped over to the sheet, and it's the top game we have because it's the top game of the 1 o'clock hour. That's why I started with it. But to get to the good games that Chris is politely asking for, of course, Chiefs-Bills is the game of the week. Of course, Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen once again. There's some other, and that's really the only, like, if you look at like true like superpower, I think there's some interesting games to look at. Bears Bengals could be a lot of fun. I mean, that could be a lot of points if the Bears figure out what was going wrong against the Ravens last week. Colts Steelers could be interesting in Pittsburgh because Steelers seem to like hang around in all these games, so you never know what could happen, especially with Chris Boswell kicking. Niners Giants is interesting just because it's the Niners and the Giants, big names. You can see what happens. It's in a 1 o'clock hour. Broncos Texans could bet the under, Chris, if you want to gamble on it. Bet the under.
Too many people are on this, so that doesn't make sense.
That's what they said for Texans Niners last week, and it worked out. So
I know, but like when everyone's on it, it ruins the value.
Yeah, Vikings Lions. JJ's back again. Division game, so it could be fun. But also, it feels like a game the Lions could just completely open up and win by a lot of points. Panthers Packers. Of course, I'm gonna save Chris the Meow Mix talk today. I'm not gonna get into it today. Chris's Saints travel to LA to take on the Rams. Could be fun.
Tyler Shuck, QB1.
Officially starting. Officially.
The rest of the season, they say he's going to be the starter.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Listen, I know the purpose is to give the rookie QB confidence that he can make mistakes. I get that. That better just be what that is, because there's no way, if he's terrible, that we could start him another, what is it going to be now? 10 weeks? That's a long time to like...
You need him to be average for about the first 4, be okay. Because then it's like if he starts playing bad, it's like, well, there's no reason to change back. Now we'll just stick it out for the rest
I
of
know
the
they're gonna tank either way, but like, whatever. It was a weird. And then they said like when they said I got a notification from Bleacher Report that Tyler Shuck warns critics or something or warns fans, and I was like, okay, maybe he's to say like, watch out, I'm gonna be great. Like he's telling like whatever. He you know what it was, Adam?
Don't expect greatness.
He literally was like, yeah, I'm gonna make some mistakes out there, and I'm like, I want you to be like,
he's
I'm
selling.
gonna silence you haters. No, instead he literally was like, you're right, I'm going to be bad at moments.
He's selling you low, so when he plays well, you're gonna be like, man, oh boy. Hey, he had some big games in college. He had that big game against Miami, him and Cam Ward.
He was there for so long, I hope he does.
Well, he's at different schools. He wasn't at Louisville the entire time, but he was good at Louisville.
I know.
Now, granted, your one concern would be Jeff Brom makes everyone look good at Louisville. He's a phenomenal
Adam,
coach.
I have 85 concerns, and that's how old he is, because he literally was in college, longer than Sean Clifford, or at least the same?
Yeah, probably a little bit longer, because I think he
did 2 redshirt years, I think, and then
a COVID year. Like it depends. College football is weird. Diego Papa
he was
for like
he was
7
Herbert's
years.
backup.
There you go. I remember
Herbert's on his second contract in the NFL, and Tyler Shuck was his backup.
Yeah, that was always the joke when Justin Herbert, Bo Nix's first career game in college was against Justin Herbert as a true freshman, and he played forever after that. So it's just it's always fun. It's always interesting to see those guys. But again, we're focusing on the big one. It's Bills-Chiefs. It's one of the best new rivalries in all of sports. Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen. They always seem to play big games. Weirdly, the Bills usually win the regular season matchup and the Chiefs beat them in the playoffs. It's kind of been a nice, ping-pong match these teams have had. But it's set up a lot of people to compare this to one of the best rivalries in football history. Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, that quarterback rivalry. But that got Chris and I thinking going into this one about some of the best player rivalries in sports history. So we each ranked our 5 of the best rivalries to kind of talk off that. We'll talk more in depth about the Bills and Chiefs once we get to our game picks and we officially announce our pick. But Chris, like I said, what we were talking about, we're like, how about we do some professional sports player rivalries and see what we can get? Do you have any honorable mentions before we get started?
I mean, there are going to be a bunch of honorable mentions. I don't know if you're going to say them though, so you don't want to tease them away too early, Adam.
I'll say an honorable mention that I know you do not have on your list. I'm just guessing, just off how much I know you. I do not believe you have Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson on your list.
I refuse to put down rivalries that I have zero interest or knowledge of in.
Hey, great 30 for 30 on the Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I'm not a boxing fan. I know Mike Tyson, I know, obvious things, but I'm not going to come out here and
So, can you tell me
this whole
something
presentation about it?
Can you tell me something you know about Mike Tyson?
He bit his ear.
He bit Evander Holyfield's ear.
Yeah.
That's what.
They bit his ear.
They played great. I think Evander Holyfield. The reason I was going to honorable mention it is Evander Holyfield might have been the best boxer of that era, but Mike Tyson was, of course, the big puncher, got all the knockouts. But true pound for pound boxer, going to the body, getting points. Evander Holyfield's one of the most underrated guys. I think he's a 4-time world heavyweight champion. He's phenomenal. So I thought I'd have to mention him. I have another boxing one on here, so I just thought I'd mention that as one of my honorable mentions. Another one I had Mario Lemieux versus Wayne Gretzky. Another guy. One I guarantee you don't have on your list because, Chris, you're not a huge hockey guy.
I'm not, but listen, my public speaking class at Penn State, the teacher was a Penguins fan, and he would just talk hockey with us before class started, and he taught me all about Lemieux.
Yep, Mario
Lemieux was better than Gretzky, but he didn't have the longevity of it, the stats don't compare. Yeah, that's what I was told.
He was not better than Gretzky. Whatever.
I'm just telling you what I was told, Adam.
You're drinking Penguins Kool-Aid then.
I'm not believing it. I'm just telling you what was said.
But they were the 2 best players in the game. They're 2 of the greatest players of all time. They were up there as the greatest players of all time, playing at the same time. The only reason I don't have them in my top 5, I do have another hockey group in my top 5. They never really played in big series. They kind of they were on different sides of the conferences a lot. They never played in the playoffs. So it was kind of it's kind of like if it was Patrick Mahomes and let's say it's Matt Stafford. This isn't the case, but they're in different conferences. They don't play a lot, so that's kind of one of those situations. So yeah, I have those guys as another honorable mention. But let's get into the list here, Chris.
I'll say real quick, honorable mention wise, anyone in golf, I know there's good rivalries and they play head to head. That's great. I don't watch it. I'm sorry. And
Jack Nicholson versus Arnold Palmer. Great one.
That's golf. Did I say golf? I meant tennis. I'm sorry.
You did say golf. I was like, there's
a lot of golf too. I have a golf one.
Oh, I know.
I apologize to tennis. I apologize to boxing like you had. And then For like, there's not a lot of current rivalries that I had. Honest, I don't think I have a single one that's current day. Like, one kind of is, but not really. Mahomes, I wanted to put, but the issue is Mahomes. You could say Mahomes and Lamar. You could say Mahomes and Josh Allen. You could say Mahomes and Burrow. Like, really, it's Mahomes versus the whole AFC.
Mm-hmm.
You could put any of them. Burrow's the only one that's actually beaten him, but I just don't feel like we go into each year talking about. If I had to pick, I would say Josh Allen, which kind of spurred the whole argument, but we'll move on to the actual top 5.
But Mahomes is, like, for me, the reason I have Mahomes and Allen on my list is, to me, it's more like Tiger versus the field right now. Like, there's guys, like Josh Allen or Lamar, one of those guys gets on a run and starts playing in Super Bowls and that, there's a chance that it becomes a true rivalry. But right now, it's Tiger versus the field until proven otherwise right now with Patrick Mahomes.
We'll get to Tiger later. Do you want all my 5 or just want to go 5, 5,
We'll
4,
go 5-1. We'll do it like the way we've been doing it. You want to start at 5?
I'll start at my 5. I have Kobe and Shaq as my number 5. And here's what's interesting. Started off as teammates, we all know, and then afterwards they had a split because they didn't work out together. And although they never like matched up against each other besides in the All-Star game or
Christmas Day, the year after he left.
I meant like in the playoffs or the finals.
Yeah.
But they really hated each other. And there was a lot of things off the court that was said that really, I feel like a lot of these other rivalries, like, it's true, and there might be like subtle digs, but like Kobe and Shaq were like directly going at each other after the fact. And I think, on the same teams that you're saying that afterwards, Shaq won first and Kobe won 2 more later. I think that makes it a good rivalry. Shaq was probably, I would argue Shaq in his prime was slightly better, but Kobe was better for longer. Shaq on the same team as him won all the finals MVPs, made Kobe kind of annoyed because, by the end of that time, Kobe was starting to get to like a similar level. I think there was a lot of cool things with that. They did the whole thing with Kobe and Shaq, like that show. They did an episode with them two sitting down talking. And now, like, by the end, they seem to be on good terms. But it was interesting that teammates who were extremely successful had to split up because they just could not stand each other.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair one. I focus more on like on the court, on the field, on the ice type rivalries. I didn't do a lot of the personal stuff. If I was doing personal stuff, they'd be near the top. I mean, these guys, they talk about some of the stuff that was going on in 2004. Go read Phil Jackson's book. Go read all the books about it. It's insane, some of the stuff that was going on between those two. But no, it's a great rivalry. They really hated each other, as you said, and that's kind of important. Another honorable mention, kind of steering off top, but you kind of remind me of when you talked about Shaq and Kobe, Michael versus Isaiah. There's another person.
I wanted to put it, but like, I feel like it was really before Jordan's like real prime of like it wasn't like Jordan won finals then lost to Isaiah again. It was like
they're on different paths.
Once he got past Isaiah was kind of done, and Jordan was still ascending. So then
Isaiah tore his Achilles close after Jordan beat him, and then kind of
there was no back and forth. It was just Jordan got over the hill and then blew past him.
Yeah, but lock them up in a bar and see what happens. I would love to see it. I would really love to see it.
I do think Isaiah not being on the dream team,
it's ridiculous.
Because of Jordan, like that kind of
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Isaiah should have been on the dream team. As a guy who's a Jazz fan and loves Scott,
the way they tried to spin it in The Last Dance was pretty funny too. Of like, well, Isaiah wouldn't even been on it. Like, anyways, it would have been Joe Dumars, and I'm like, it would have been Isaiah. Isaiah's like an all-time great. Yeah.
Isaiah is one of the most underrated players ever. I'll die on that hill. For me, my number 5, I'm going to hockey. Sidney Crosby versus Alexander Ovechkin. This is an interesting one because a lot of people are like, it's modern. This is still going on. Now, they're a lot older now. It's really changed. But these two, they were the number 1 pick in back-to-back drafts. Crosby comes in, saves the Penguins. They were thinking about moving. They get Sidney Crosby. They go on this great run, team success. Alexander Ovechkin, drafted by the Washington Capitals, goes on a huge run for them. Not a lot of playoff success, just the 1 Stanley Cup, but a lot of individual accolades. He's the all-time leading goal scorer, which is different than the point scorer. He's the all-time leading goal scorer. I hate when people try to say he scored more points than anyone. No, he hasn't. Wayne Gretzky still has way more points because of assists. But Alexander Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby, they've been in the division. They played in the playoffs 4 times. It's been a phenomenal rivalry for hockey. It's made it very interesting. They've really helped grow the game, especially because, I'm a Pennsylvania guy. It's really become Pennsylvania hockey's really grown from this because of Sidney Crosby. And Alexander Ovechkin's been one of the best. So it's been great to see those two go at each other. So I have them at my number 5.
I don't know much about hockey, but one of the few players I actually do know and care about is Sidney Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
I love the NHL video game. And my brother would always play as the Penguins and play with Crosby. So when I would play the game, I would also play as the Penguins, play as Crosby. So if I had to pick a team I would say root for would be the Penguins. My favorite player would be Sidney Crosby. So I'm all aboard that. I'm a Crosby fan for that reason. I cannot tell you two things about him besides he's very good at hockey.
He
But
stole a Stanley Cup from my boy PK Subban and the Preds once, though. So
who's won more head-to-head, Crosby or Ovechkin, or is it even?
Crosby's, I don't know the actual like head-to-head games record. Crosby has
I
more
mean, like
Stanley
in the
Cups.
playoffs, or in the.
I don't know what. I know Crosby has more Stanley Cups. If that's the important thing, I think
There we
Crosby's
go.
got 4,
Winner,
and
winner.
Ovechkin's got 1. So it's interesting. It's kind of like the LeBron Jordan debate a little bit. Do you want championships, individual accolades? Like, what are you valuing there? Or
Well, I think
Bill
Crosby
Russell
though
won,
is
so.
very similar to
Oh yeah,
Ovechkin.
Crosby's a passer, Ovechkin's a scorer. Like there's
Yeah.
different styles they play.
Yeah, I actually kind of like the passing guys more. So honestly,
Oh, so do I. So do I.
All right, my number 4. I'm going basketball here. This is the only current day rivalry that I have. LeBron versus Steph. And it's not the same now as it was back in the 10s, but every year it was Cavs Warriors. And you had that continuity every these two guys. And it was LeBron's league for a very long time. And that went on for a long time until Steph really rose in 2016. Second MVP, took the league over, changed the game of basketball, and it really had more of this Steph face of the league kind of with LeBron kind of there too. So much so, NBA 2K calls it the Steph era when you go to play. I think that's disrespectful. I'm
It's
going to be honest.
horrible. It's horrible.
I would call it like the super team era or the big 3 era or something.
The Steph era when he wasn't the best player on his team for a couple of those years. Yeah,
like Steph was the best player on like 2015, 2016, then that's it. And then it was
then
KD.
2022, of course, he was.
Oh yeah, but I mean like that's a different era then at that point.
It is,
like,
yeah.
So that I would say like the fact that Steph kind of started taking the league away from LeBron, at least the popularity because he was new and whatever, and his play style so fun. I think that that did seem to bother LeBron. In 2015 they had a great series. 2016 was maybe the best finals ever. I mean, if it's, people could say recency bias, but like it's in the top tier of series, goes to 7, Cleveland finally wins. And then, 2018, even though LeBron had no one, he still carries the team and he faces off against them. Had an incredible game 1, but just literally LeBron's best game still couldn't beat that Warriors team. So there was a 4-year stretch of just those two guys, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 4-year stretch, those two guys going at it. And 2 of the best players in the league, probably the best 2. It was cool to see them every year kind of go up. It got boring after a while, but I think the more you play each other in the playoffs, the more that rivalry grows.
Yeah, Kevin Durant made it boring. Those two did.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant made it boring because he came over and then it was you're not beating him. So it's kind of like that ruined a little bit of the suspense to it.
Durant didn't come over and we got at least one more Steph LeBron title. That would have been great.
We'd have got a true rubber match between those two with them being the undisputed 2 best players on the team. Would have been great to see. I think Cleveland wins that though, by the way. I just off out on a limb, I think, without KD. Yeah.
I think Cleveland was better, but I think Steph wasn't really playing his best, in that series. I feel like if Steph was playing his best, I feel like they could have won, but 2015 is kind of unfair against LeBron because Kyrie and Kevin Love were out. So
yeah, if KD doesn't come, it would have been flipped because I think a lot of people would have said LeBron had the better team. Like if KD doesn't come because they would have had Kyrie. Now who knows if they don't have KD, they have more cap space. Maybe they make some different moves and things like that. But like they would have had potentially.
2016 they were supposed to be the super deep team. That was they were great off the bench and they had Steph and Clay and Draymond and Harrison Barnes and Andrew Bogut. So like. It was very interesting. I kind of missed it, to be honest. So much.
And you're slating the play-in rivalry, the greatest play-in rivalry of all time.
Yeah, like it still continues with those two match up, but now when they talk about each other, it's how much they respect each other, which is kind of annoying. It's like, all right, and like even the Olympics kind of like made that like clear, like oh, and every time LeBron or Steph are in a trade rumor, it's always to play with each other. Of like, could they team up?
And it makes sense because they're like perfect teammates. Like LeBron being the ball.
Who is Steph not a perfect teammate next to?
That's true. That's true.
Everyone always says that. And I'm like, Steph works next to anyone. Anyone who could play off the ball and shoot is a perfect teammate.
Yeah, but I was just saying because LeBron, because he has size, which means he can guard, play defense. Plus, he always needs shooting. That's always the thing he needed. So yeah, my number 4, Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning is who I have at number 4. This is one of the best quarterback rivalries we've ever seen. 2 of the greatest of all time. Again, it's Peyton with all the individual accolades, all the MVPs versus Tom Brady, all the team success, 6 Super Bowls. They've met in the playoffs a bunch of times, whether it be with the Colts or when Peyton went to the Broncos. It was a great rivalry for the sport. It was always great to watch. I remember the last true great one, I believe, was 2015 when they were going back and forth in Denver, so I think there's been a lot of great games. These two have matched up against each other. They helped really prove the game. So yeah, I got Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, and they're my top football rivalry. I don't have another football rivalry on here, and I got Tom and Peyton at 4.
I have a different variation of this. At number 2, I have Tom Brady versus the Mannings. I have Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. They're brothers. They have the same name. It counts. I'm counting it as one rivalry.
Does Archie get in there?
No, Archie does not. Arch does not as well. But Tom Brady kind of owned Peyton Manning. And there were some times that Peyton kind of got through, but it was really Tom who kind of owned that whole thing. And even after his career, Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls. It's like he kind of wins at the end of the day. But it's the little brother, Eli Manning, who is the only person that beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. That's insane.
Well, when you only have 3 losses, that's kind of how it works. But
I know, but it's okay. But like Brady, like the fact they lost to Eli twice is crazy. I mean, he never beat Eli.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes that kind of like no matter what Tom Brady does against Peyton, he has to know that his little brother owned him twice. And not only that, he beat him in the year that the team went undefeated.
Yeah.
So it really like ruined that incredible special season. And then the second year around, I mean, I think Tom Brady said this. The first time they played, Tom Brady felt like the Giants just had a really good defensive line that kept getting pressure. The Giants made plays when like they had to, and they just kind of stole, they stole the game, but they deserved it. But the second time they played, he still does not understand how they lost that game.
Yep.
Everything points the Patriots should have won, and the Giants won. The helmet catch the first time, just everything went against Tom Brady's way twice, and it was the same family, the same guy, and the fact that he's related to Peyton makes it all better. And Eli Manning made one throw to that Manningham catch. I remember watching that live and being like,
that's the greatest throw of all time. I'll still die on that hill.
Probably.
Yep.
And like I remember that live when I was little, and I was like, wow. And it's Eli Manning too. Like, I love Eli Manning. He was no Peyton Manning.
No, not even close.
But when the moment mattered the most, he beat the biggest villain in sports that was the rival of his brother Peyton, and he beat him twice. I think that kind of makes this rivalry like I had it number 2 overall.
Yeah, I don't, but no, I think a lot of it is Eli just wasn't that good. Eli just wasn't that good.
Eli wasn't, but in the matchups, he owned him.
Yeah, but he could have played him more, but he didn't because he wasn't that good.
There's no shame in winning 2 Super Bowls. I'm not going to dink Eli for only making 2.
Him and Peyton have the same amount of Super Bowls. So it's impressive. He gets to sit there and say that. And I guarantee Tom would trade 2 of the Super Bowls he has to win in 07. Because that's the greatest team of all time, and they didn't win the Super Bowl.
I think really either of the years. I just think losing to Eli, who's a worse quarterback twice, is kind of crazy. And I think
he can live with 2011. He can't live with 07.
I think though he said the 2011 one bothers him more, that individual game.
But Randy Moss doesn't yell at him about 2011. Randy Moss still yells at him about 07. So
yeah,
they only scored 14 points in that game.
All right, well, I already said my number 2, so now give me your number 3, and we'll skip my 2.
My number 3, arguably, internationally, this is probably number 1. Messi versus Ronaldo. This is the true, like I said, like if Jordan and LeBron played at the same time. Like these are a lot of people say these are the 2 greatest soccer players of all time. Now the numbers get skewed because you have guys playing in different leagues and in different countries and all that stuff. But these 2, credit to them, they played in the same league in the biggest rivalry in soccer, arguably, in Barcelona, Real Madrid, and El Clasico every year. Ronaldo, probably the greatest goal scorer of all time. Messi, because of the accolades, the assists, the points, everything he has, winning the World Cup recently with Argentina, beating Mbappe in France. Everything he's been able to do probably now gives him the nod in the greatest of all time debate, but Ronaldo's still probably the greatest goal scorer of all time. So I think when you have 2 guys who are pretty much undisputed, we talked about this, you mentioned we didn't mention in tennis, Federer versus Nadal was a very similar way in tennis that these 2 are in soccer, and it's just been great to see these 2 always go at it. So I have them at number 3 just because it's a phenomenal rivalry, and it's great because you always sit there and you wonder, like, man, what if Jordan and LeBron played at the same time? Well, soccer got that, and it's been great for the game.
Yeah, I didn't include them because you could put them 1. I just had them my honorable mentions in the beginning because, like, they definitely deserve to be in the top 5, but, like, for me, I didn't care about it as much as the other ones. I've always been a Messi fan whenever I played soccer. There was a stretch, Adam. I really tried. I tried getting to soccer, and I played it. It was just more so like watching professional soccer. It was a different ball game. But I always loved Messi, and kind of like in hockey and in soccer, in the events where there's a larger team, I always appreciate guys who could set up other teammates. I think that's, really valuable. In basketball too, like I like guys who score a lot of points, but I like the guys that can also get the assists. So that's kind of my preference across most team sports is guys who could help others as well as themselves. I'm a Messi fan. I think most people, like you said, kind of say Messi now,
Hmm.
but they just say maybe Ronaldo's more talented or anything, or like he like worked to be really talented, whereas Messi has that natural gift. But yeah, after that World Cup, I think most people are going to give it to Messi because it
Yeah.
seemed like for a while. I remember Argentina Germany years ago when they lost when Messi lost. It was like he had a free kick and he missed it and it was like
Hmm.
way off. And then he got his redemption. He beats Mbappe, who's probably, or at least at that time, was the
That's one of
best
the
player
greatest
in
soccer
soccer.
games ever.
It
Like
was,
that
and
was
Mbappe
awesome.
was going off,
Get a
but
hat trick.
Messi showed up, and even though he's older, he still balled out, and I think that kind of solidified
Yeah.
him as like he like
Hmm.
when LeBron won in 2020. I was like, how did he still get one this late? Like kind of like stole one late. I feel like that's what Messi did with the World
Yeah.
Cup.
Yeah. No, it was great. I remember where I was. I was announcing a Penn State. I think they were playing Cornell in a basketball game. We were announcing it, and we're sitting there. We have the game on the laptop. We're like, what is going on? Because it's a World Cup final. Even casual soccer fans will tune in to watch the World Cup, and we had that on. And it was great to see. So, yeah, they're my number three. And I said internationally, you look outside of American sports, they're probably number one. So, Chris, you mentioned your number two, but who do you have at number three?
My number three, and this one you kind of hinted at earlier. I do have a Tiger Woods one. I have Tiger Woods versus Phil Mickelson, and now obviously Tiger was better, so maybe it's not the rivalry in
Not a
that sense.
rivalry.
But do you know when Phil beat him?
When did Phil beat him? Oh, five?
He beat him on TNT's The Match, the competition between
Oh,
the two of them.
jeez. Oh, jeez.
And it was funny, like Phil joked about it. They made like the belt at the end, and it wasn't big enough to fit
Mhm.
Phil. And he was like, clearly they were expecting Tiger to win.
Yeah.
But they do like they acknowledge they have a rivalry in the sense of like, Tiger's obviously better, one more, but they were both kind of like Tiger grew up in Phil's shadow a little bit. I mean, Tiger was
Mhm.
bigger, but like Phil was a little bit older. Tiger was kind of behind him. And then for most of Phil's prime, Tiger was winning. Phil kind of got this bump later in his career. But what I think makes the rivalry is like Tiger and his family hated Phil
Yes.
personally. I know you know the story. Tiger Woods' mom is calling Phil Hefty instead of
Mhm.
Lefty. He was calling him Hefty. Kind of funny. Then the one story there, it was it. What was it? 2000 when Tiger I think completed the Grand Slam. I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well.
He like outdrove Phil, and he did it with his 3-wood, and
Yeah.
Phil used his driver. And then like just like the mind games of like he wanted to beat him. And I know Tiger was like that with everyone, but especially Phil. That's why I think it was good. And that's why that was my number three. And then my number two, as I said, was the Brady versus the Mannings.
You didn't even say the best quote from Tiger out driving Phil with his 3-wood.
I usually hit it farther.
Phil asked him, he goes, "How do you hit it?" He goes, "I kind of missed that. I usually hit it further." It's like, oh. Like,
That would
yeah,
just be demoralizing.
nah.
Like, oh my god.
Nah, it was a good rivalry. It was really one-sided, but it was a really good rivalry for the sport of golf. Tiger helped grow golf in a big way. There's some other guys, of course, Jack and Arnie's a huge rivalry back in the day in the 60s, helping really grow the sport of golf. Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, the two great golfers of that era. Greg Norman and Nick Faldo had a good rivalry, too. There was a couple of good rivalries in the 90s, kind of the forgotten era of golf in between Jack and then, of course, Tiger's rise. No, there's a lot of good golf. And I'll tell you now, Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler, if Rory keeps playing, is going to be a fun one to watch over the next few years, too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Rory's got some good ones just because Rory likes to get personal with people. A lot of Rory's is off the court.
I mean,
off the course.
one of my favorites is Bryson versus Brooks, but
Yeah,
like
but they're cool
that's
now. It seems like
yeah. Well, not even that they're cool now, but like it doesn't really like once they went to live, like you don't get to see it every weekend, and then
Plus, you
like
never saw it in a major like really flare up with the two of them, like at the end contending against
yeah,
each
and
other.
I feel like Brooks's peak was kind of Bryson trying to figure his stuff out, and then now
Yes.
Bryson's kind of at his peak, but Brooks is kind of past his. So
Mhm.
like it never fully lined up, which was kind of always annoying.
Yeah, now personal wise, yeah, they were awesome. Great for content. We should get them on the YouTube page with Bryson DeChambeau. Yeah, his YouTube page goes off, continues to go off.
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of watching the Internet Invitational over with Barstool and Bob Does Sports. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I recommend checking it out. My number two, going to boxing, Chris. I mentioned Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson, but I think the greatest boxing rivalry of all time is Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. They had a great trilogy of fights, the thrill in Manila. They had so many great battles. They really helped. I mean, you're talking about Muhammad Ali, in my mind, is arguably the greatest athlete of all time. He's up there in that conversation. He's so good as a boxer. And him and Joe Frazier were going at it all the time for the World Heavyweight Championship. Muhammad Ali always having that smack talk, the classic, confidence that he had and the cockiness he had. Joe Frazier going right back at him, wasn't afraid to back down to him. And I think it just was so good for the sport of boxing. And I have them at number 2.
Cool. Boxing is good. I did not watch any Muhammad Ali boxing matches in my day. In
your day, I had to go back and watch the black and white tapes, but yeah.
Yeah. I like boxing, like the idea of it, like I like Rocky, but like actual boxing, I just feel bad for these guys. I know Muhammad Ali though, like a lot of his prime was taken away from him because he was like ineligible, like they didn't whatever because of the whole service thing.
Yeah.
And then by the end when he was boxing, he was kind of past his prime, but he kind of still had it, but like wasn't the same. I agree. I think really like boxing, Muhammad Ali's probably the greatest boxer. Mike Tyson was probably like the most fun boxer and like the most electric of like.
You're guaranteed a knockout.
Like he's literally going in there trying to take the other guy's head off. Where Muhammad Ali was like, perfect, like untouchable.
He did it all.
Yeah,
Muhammad did it all. It was freaking crazy.
Update by the way, we'll talk football later. The Ravens scored another touchdown, 21-6.
There we go. But my favorite boxer is actually the complete opposite. I love Floyd Mayweather. Just love him. A lot of people don't like him. I love him. Him and Pacquiao had a great rivalry too. Didn't even mention them. Because they never boxed. Because Floyd may have been a little afraid to do it.
I remember they boxed once, but
yeah, they did. But like Floyd it was past Manny was past his prime, and it was a big deal because like he kept dodging them. It seemed like so. Yeah, I love Floyd Mayweather. There's some good ones out there now too.
I tried watching Floyd Mayweather versus McGregor. Like that was like the first boxing match I remember being like old enough to watch. And I remember like being excited for it, thinking Floyd was going to kill him, and like. That's when I was at Floyd. Like I didn't know anything about boxing. He just like is so hard to hit.
Defensive boxer. Yep.
And it was so boring to watch. And then like he finally started hitting McGregor. Then they called the match and it sucked. And I was like, oh my god! Like we didn't see anything. Like
Floyd is the smartest boxer ever. I'll die on it because he figured out. You don't have to punch him. You just gotta dodge him. It's just you'll be able to fight more and you'll make more money. And he figured it out. That's why he's called Money Mayweather. So there you go. Yeah. All right, Chris. Let's go to number 1. I am hoping you have the right one here because you haven't said it yet, and I'll be very disappointed.
When you think about individual player rivalries in sports, there is only one answer, and that's Bird versus Magic. 2 guys at the same time enter the NBA. And they're on 2 of the biggest franchises now, Lakers versus Celtics. They had multiple head-to-head matchups in the NBA Finals, which made it perfect. It was personal, and they had it on the court. The teams hated each other, the fan bases hated each other, and they seem to hate each other. And after the fact, now they're older, they seem good. They seem like they're friends now. But they saved the league, their rivalry saved the league, and they were maybe the most entertaining, 1-2 punch in a sport.
You got it right. I always get a little worried, but you got it right. Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson.
What do you mean always get worried?
I always worry you get. You didn't have Russ versus KD, and I know you're a Russ guy, so I don't know if you throw that out. That's not a
rivalry. I love Russ, but like until he starts beating Kevin Durant in the finals, that's nothing.
It'll never happen. But it's actually impossible.
Don't say never.
It's actually impossible. They're both in the West, Chris. Like they can't beat each other in the
finals.
Russ
goes on a new team every year.
That is true. He'll probably be on the Knicks by March.
I was actually about to say, I think he might go to the Knicks.
But no, Larry Bird versus Matt Johnson's best rivalry ever. Whether you look at their college game, Indiana State versus Michigan State, like I just said, Indiana State played in a college basketball game in the national championship, which is crazy. Shows how good Larry Bird was. And it's one of the most watched games in the history of basketball. They go to the NBA. Magic wins the title immediately with the Lakers. Larry wins one the very next year with the Celtics. The Lakers win another one in 82. Then Dr. J and Moses Malone get their year in 83. And then 84 won, I consider maybe the greatest finals of all time. Lakers-Celtics, the first time Larry and Magic met in the finals. So it was huge. It was big, hyped up. This was a rivalry that was big before they got there because Jerry West never beat them. They didn't beat the Celtics. The Lakers never beat the Celtics until 85 when Magic finally got through. But in 84,
Who did Jerry West beat when they played?
They beat the Knicks.
Oh, okay.
They lost to the Knicks and beat the Knicks. Yeah, they beat them in 72. 2, I think. I think that's when they beat them. But no, I mean, it's just such a great rivalry. It had everything you'd ever want in it. You had Magic with the super team to start. Larry then was able to get the big 3 down there with Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale. It was so good for the sport. It really helped grow basketball. Like, any basketball rivalry you have may have not happened if these two didn't happen, because basketball was a dying sport, and they helped really rejuvenate it and set it up for Michael to come in and, of course, take it to a whole nother level when he came in '84. So, yep, we got it right. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, easily the greatest rivalry of all time between two players.
Who do you have as like all-time rankings? Who do you have higher?
Magic.
I also have Magic higher. I think I have Magic 4th all-time.
I have Larry higher than some people. Some people don't even have him in the top 10, which is crazy. I think I have him around 7. But nah, Magic's better all-around player. Played longer. Larry had the injuries, of course.
Yeah.
And also, Larry said Magic was better. So,
well, Larry... I think the difference for me, like, kind of, Larry was actually a great passer, but Magic's greatest gift was his passing, and I think that worked out really well when you enter your career with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think that's perfect. I know the Lakers had really good teams. I think what's kind of different is, to me, when I think of, like, Magic Johnson and the Lakers, it was kind of like him and the Lakers, whereas the Celtics were kind of this franchise's machine that had so much talent that Larry Bird kind of entered, whereas Magic Johnson kind of came into the Lakers. You're saying no, Adam, but I'm saying, like...
you know what the Celtics were before Larry got there?
But I'm saying they won all the titles already with Russell. You know what I mean?
But look, Magic had the best player in the world on his team when he was drafted.
I'm saying maybe when, like, the first year they were on the team, I'm not saying that. I'm saying as a franchise, like, when you think of the Celtics, like, I would think of the Celtics, whatever. Like, I think Magic was more important to the Lakers at the time than Larry was. Like, Magic to me seems bigger than Larry because of, like, Magic's important to the Lakers at that time compared to, like,
but
Larry Bird entering. It's like, it's kind of like the Celtics would be like the Yankees nowadays, and then the Lakers would be like, any big market team that doesn't win as much. But, like, I want to say the Mets because that would just be mean.
You said the Yankees, and you said doesn't win as much. The Yankees
haven't won
since
the
09.
Yankees are the Celtics. I'm trying to think of a Lakers comparison, but, like imagine if the Dodgers didn't win every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand, but dude, the Celtics were bad when he got there. Like, you realize Larry's rookie year, they had the biggest single season turnaround in the history of the sport.
But Larry, I'm saying, like, joined the Celtics. They already won 11 titles with Bill Russell, and then they had, like, McHale was there, Parrish was there. They already
Not
had,
when
like,
he got there.
No, I'm saying, but, like, while he was on the team, they had all these guys on there.
Magic Johnson got James Worthy because they got the #1 pick after winning a title.
Yeah, but, like, I don't think the Lakers, like...
They had Bob McAdoo, who won an MVP. They had Michael Cooper, who's in the Hall of Fame. Byron Scott.
This great history of success now, but I feel like that kind of started with, like, after Magic, or with Magic than after Magic, whereas the Celtics were, like, before, during, and after Bird.
After Bird? They've won...
Not as much, but they still won
2 titles since Bird.
That's it? Oh my god, that's it. You're right.
They won in 08 and they won in 23. That's it.
That's crazy. I thought it was more.
Yep. Bird got him up there. It has been pretty. I understand what you mean with Magic's impact on the Lakers moving forward, but going in, Magic was in a much better situation than Larry was when he arrived in Boston.
I agree.
And Magic always felt like he had the better team. Like, the Celtics were always that ragtag group, and they'll tell you that. The Lakers will tell you that. They still don't understand how they lost some of those series. But 84 was a phenomenal series. Went 7. The Celtics won it. 85, the Lakers come back. Kareem bounces back after the Memorial Day Massacre in Game 1 to find a way to win that series in 6. Magic had, of course, the big shots, the baby hook across the lane. Larry Bird has one of the best 3-year stretches in the history of the game. 3 straight MVPs, 2 titles, 2 finals MVPs. Like, that stretch 84 to 86 is one of the best you'll ever see. What they were able to do with each other and help grow the game of basketball was so good. It really set the table for Michael Jordan to take it off into his heights in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
All right, so there's the best professional sports rivalries. And again, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen knocking on the door. Josh probably needs to win a couple of these big games in the playoffs.
If Josh can beat him once, it becomes a rivalry.
Yep.
That we could actually talk about.
Gets to a Super Bowl, wins a Super Bowl, then we're having a conversation.
Listen, the Bills should throw the game this weekend and try to flip the storyline. And also, too, the Chiefs are playing their best football right now, and the Bills are not. They had a good last week.
Hey, 40-9. They beat Andy Dalton. You want me to say it again?
But they lost the 2 games before that. You know what I mean?
Do you want me to say it?
No.
Okay.
Please don't. If you want to know what Adam's referring to, please listen to either of the last two podcasts
Yeah.
where I hope we don't get in trouble for Adam saying
The
a phrase.
red rifle stepped up and was
Yes, he
playing
did.
for the Panthers. It didn't work out very well, but
No, and I think the Bills needed that. 2 losses in a row, then came off a bye. I feel like that was kind of, we could all see that.
they needed it. It should be a fun game. It should be a really fun game. Jim and Tony have it again, which is they're good on those games. They're used to it by now. They've called about all of them. So should be a lot of fun. Now we'll get into our game picks this week. Chris, upset pick time. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go as you try to find yours? I don't know if you had one yet.
I forgot about that one, Adam. You go.
Okay. I've looked around. There's a couple I was looking. I'm like, yeah, maybe. But Chris knows I don't like boring 2-point spreads or 1-point spreads. So I'm going to a 3.5-point spread, and that's actually probably a bigger upset when I say it. Steelers over Colts. I got the Steelers upsetting the Colts. You know why?
I hate that.
Yeah, I know you don't like it, but here's why. The Steelers, they're going to find a way to get to 9-8, aren't they? They always do. And guess what? They're sitting one game above 500. They need one of these wins. So they got to get one. That's what Mike Tomlin does. He gets down, and then he gets you right back to be able to feel like you can get to 500. Colts are due for a bad game. They've been playing so well to start the year. You're kind of like you're playing so high. You're due for that down spot. Haven't played bad yet. They got to go to Pittsburgh. I think the weather looks good right now, but it's Pennsylvania weather in November. You never know what's going to happen. The wind's going to be wild. The Colts have the Spain trip next week, so kind of, maybe thinking about, guys making plans, people asking for tickets when they go over there to Madrid, how are you going to handle it, all that stuff. So, it's kind of an interesting game where the Steelers, even if they don't win, will be able to hang around, maybe make it a field goal game, and they have the better kicker in this game with Chris Boswell, which is always a big game in some of these close outings, and I kind of need it to happen because the Jags wildcard odds maybe not look great, but if the Colts drop a game here, get back to a little bit, allow the Jags maybe to come back. Who knows what could happen, but I got the Steelers over the Colts this week. Thought I'd swing a little big for you.
Adam, you're going to yell at me, but there's just so many games that have 2.5-point spreads. I don't want to do that.
14.5-point spread ones. You're going to take the cover, aren't you?
I was going to say, the issue is I either take a 14.5 spread or a 2.5 spread. You hate both of those.
Nah, just pick quick with your heart. I'd rather have you pick an outright winner, honestly. But
okay, then if it's to pick an outright winner, give me the Broncos to beat the Texans. The Texans don't have an O-line, and the Broncos have a great defense that gets pressure on the quarterback better than anyone, and they protect the quarterback better than anyone. And that's kind of all you need when both this game, as we talked about earlier, probably want to take the under. Not going to be a lot of offense in this game. And if that's the case, give me Will Lutz, give me the Broncos, who have been pretty good offensively, but not great, whereas the Texans have just been really bad on offense, honestly. I know now they should be getting Nico Collins back, but he's coming off an injury. Stroud hasn't really looked good since his rookie year. He had a good week last week, I guess, but give me the Broncos. I don't know how the Texans are favored 1.5 points. Give me the Broncos just to either win outright or maybe the Texans win by 1, but I really think the Broncos, the defenses I think are a wash, but their offense is a lot better.
And the Texans are playing well right now. Last 4 games, they've been good. 3-1 over their last 4. They had the loss by 1 score to Seattle on the road on Monday night. They beat San Francisco last week. They're getting a little hot.
They make any game close with their defense, but their offense is just... I just can't trust it.
Offense played well last week against the Niners.
It could play well. It still sucks, Adam. Their offensive line's terrible, and the Broncos...
I'm not saying they're good, but they would score more than 13 points against the Jets. I'll tell you that. So...
Oh, we'll start at the top here, actually. Well, not the top, but we both picked the Ravens this week. Ravens are currently up 21-6, and they're in the red zone again. So we both get the dub.
Big dog there.
Just wanted to mention that.
I'm not marking it off yet. Upsets happen. Comebacks happen. I won't mark it off yet, but I'll keep my eye on it. But hey, I just want to say Texans playing well, but I won't complain if the Broncos beat them. Yeah, Jags, try to sneak in there, baby. Gotta get some of those division games down.
Adam, actually. Lamar threw his 4th touchdown today.
Oh, good, because his team's gonna be getting fined and losing a draft pick because he didn't play last week. So how about that?
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get to our official game picks of the week, Chris. Falcons at Patriots. Chris, you got a little mad when I said this was an interesting game, only because it was at the top of the docket. But who do you got in New England? Patriots are playing hot, but are they maybe due for a down spot here for the sophomore quarterback Drake May?
Listen, Drake May is the hottest quarterback right now. He's playing the best. His deep ball has been amazing. The Falcons are coming off a bad loss. Their defense kind of has some holes on it. They're depleted there. Offensively, even if the Falcons figure things out, their defense won't be right for this Patriots team. It's in New England. Penix is back. That should help the Falcons' chances. But right now, the Patriots are a buzz, so I would not want to play them at all. Give me the Patriots.
Now I'm tempted to pick the Falcons. You said Drake May's the hottest quarterback in the league. You said that about Dak Prescott last week. So, I mean, I could take the Falcons here. I'm not going to. I'm going to take the Patriots. I love Drake May. I love Drake May. I love Mike Vrabel's a phenomenal coach. I think they're going to find a way to get it done. This is a huge coaching matchup. If this game's close, if it comes down to coaching. Now that Coach Callahan's gone from Tennessee, Raheem Morris might be the worst coach in the league. I'm serious.
Adam,
He's awful. He's awful. He's been off for a couple years.
Okay, listen. It's only been 2. This is his second season.
Yeah, exactly. Since day one, he's been awful.
I agree that I personally have been happy about it.
Oh, I'm not complaining about it.
I have Bijan in fantasy, and I'm like, okay, and I'm not rooting for the Falcons because, I think the Saints' biggest real rival is the Falcons. That's just what we tend to hate the most. But it is 4th and 1 against the Niners, the biggest down of the game. It's in the fourth quarter, and they put in Tyler Algier to run it up the middle. He gets stuffed. I'm like, why is your most dynamic playmaker, maybe the best running back in the league, maybe the best runner in the league? Yeah. Why is he not in? Yeah. He's a top 3. You could say McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor.
I don't know. All those guys I trust more against the Dolphins defense. I'll tell you that.
He had a bad last week. I'll give you that, Adam. But up to that point, the Niners was having a great game. I'm like, why are you putting in the backup running back in the biggest spot of the game? They do that all the time. Teams sometimes will go, let's put in the bigger guy, but they're not as good. They're less likely to get the point. It's really like Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, except Bijan is so much better than Singleton, and Algier is worse than Katron Allen in that comparison between the two.
Well, you've completely flipped them here because Katron Allen's better than Nicholas Singleton. So I mean, that's just how it is.
No.
You haven't watched the Penn State game this year, have you?
No,
exactly.
Not since Drew went down.
Well, he was better before Drew went down.
I will always be a Nick Singleton fan more so.
I know. I'm just saying this year, Katron Allen's one of the best running backs in the country.
The use of the running backs has been terrible.
Yes,
and the inability to get Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Bijan, to somehow have that equate to points is kind of concerning, especially when they're talented. Why are they only kicking field goals?
Yeah, no, it's bad. It's really bad. You have that young core now. Everyone's kind of admitted that Raheem Morris is a good coach. You got to go find one. If you're the Falcons, go find the coach that's going to get you over the hump because Raheem Morris doesn't seem to be that guy. Kirk Cousins also might start in this game. Penix is still questionable with some injuries.
I think he's on track to play, but
yeah, still questionable. And of course, if the Cousins that showed up against Miami shows up against the Patriots, it's going to be an easy game to pick.
Who's your pick, Adam? I forget.
I picked the Patriots.
Okay.
I love Drake May. I love Mike Vrabel. I led it with Vrabel's going to outcoach Morris.
Well, you led it with saying you're tempted to pick the Falcons because
you picked that because you said about Drake May being hot and it's Dak Prescott all over.
You didn't even have Drake May in your top 5, did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
I had him at 5.
Oh, you didn't have Dak. Okay.
No, I didn't have Dak. Yeah, who looks good now? Yeah. Okay.
You said it wasn't projecting.
I know.
Right.
I know. Chargers Titans. This is another interesting one.
No,
just because the Chargers haven't played well. It is. It could.
Killed the Vikings last week.
I know, but they've also lost some bad games. They nearly lost to the Dolphins. It's interesting. Listen, it's on the road. It's in Nashville. It's an early start for an LA team going across the country.
The Titans really suck. Yeah. I'll give me the Chargers. I'm not going to question it. Just the Chargers. Let's skip this one.
I'm taking the Chargers too. We got to acknowledge it. It could be fun.
We don't even have to acknowledge it.
All right,
I think people would just assume.
This one will be fun. Bears, Bengals. This is 2 teams that are coming off brutal losses for different reasons. The Bears allowed Snoop Huntley to look like Lamar Jackson last week with his efficiency. The Ravens moved the ball up and down the field. The Bears weren't able to get anything going against that Ravens defense consistently. So now they play the Bengals, who are coming off their own heartbreaking loss. Justin Fields hangs 39 on them and beats them 39-38 to get the Jets their first win. Chris, who do you got in this matchup in Cincinnati?
Is Flacco playing?
I believe so. I haven't checked. But
he was day-to-day after.
Oh, because he had that weird where he ran in the locker room, ran back out. Yeah. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know who's officially playing. But
I really don't want to pick the Bears, but I don't know what to do, Adam. Who's your pick?
I'm taking the Bengals here. I don't know why. It's a toss-up game, but I trust the Bengals offense more. Not having Joe Flacco concerns me, but it's a slight trust over the Bears. They've been really inconsistent, and Ben Johnson seems to really not like Caleb Williams, just off body language.
I truly think Caleb, he's been playing terrible.
Yeah, but he's
It's
also been good.
so
It's
bad.
weird. It's been
But
weird.
he's not really been that good. And like I don't know what to do because like every single like person that has some podcast or show that's bigger than us is coming out and saying like Caleb is not playing good. He's not a good quarterback right now, like, which is kind of weird because like the last two biggest quarterback prospects in recent history are Caleb and Trevor, and they both have kind of sucked.
Whoa. Don't say kind of sucked.
Trevor has had years where he sucked, but he's kind of
who's
been
got
average.
more playoff wins, Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert?
Not gonna. I don't even care about Herbert.
Exactly.
Don't care about Herbert. But like, it's just like I just don't know what's wrong with Caleb Williams. Like, I know there was. I don't know. Give me the Bears. I think the Bengals are gonna win. I'm gonna feel stupid when Jamar Chase has 20 catches.
Yeah. That Flacco doesn't play. It's a very different game because Jake Browning not been good this year. So maybe the benching helps. I don't know. Colts Steelers. Chris, I know where you're going here. I'll take the Steelers because I picked them as my upset pick. So
give me the Colts. The Steelers' greatest ability is to just never be dead. They're always kind of hanging around. The Colts' best ability this year has been to destroy teams, not let them hang around. They just come out and they win the game, and by the third quarter, Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and Tyler Warren are on the bench talking and chit-chatting because they have nothing to do with the rest of the game. Give me the Colts.
Yeah, they played some close games, though. They played some close games.
They played what?
They should have lost to the Broncos. They lost to the Rams.
What close game have they won? They won against the Broncos.
Well, I gotta pull up the schedule. Give me a second.
They killed the Raiders. They killed the
time.
They killed the Raiders. They killed the Dolphins. They killed the Titans last week.
The Cardinals.
That might be the only game they let the other
Cardinals had the lead in the fourth quarter, and then had the ball inside the 10-yard line with a chance to win.
Yeah, maybe they've had one game where they didn't kill the opponent that they,
It's a sleepy game. That's what they're looking at this week in Pittsburgh. In the Berg. The Yinzers are going to be out. They're going to be waving the towels. Renegade's going to be playing.
Finish him. They're going to kill him.
Oh, mama, I'm in here for my life from the long arm of the
What's the next game?
Niners Giants. Long trip for the Niners here.
I would love to pick the Giants. Without Scadaboo, they just really kind of lost all their energy and vibe. The Niners are also coming off really tough stretch, but I think they're just going to get McCaffrey more involved. That Giants secondary is really bad. Give me the Niners. I don't feel great about it. Honestly, if I'm the Niners, I wouldn't even play McCaffrey. He's the only reason. Don't put him on MetLife at all. No, don't do it.
Okay, you have to play him because the Niners need to win the game.
I remember once when they played against the Jets, I think a year ago, like they lost Bosa. Just like
I'll tell you this:
in this field.
If Brock Purdy doesn't play, I'm done. I don't even know what's going on. He's been questionable for like 4 weeks.
Yeah. He's projected to play, and then the day comes and Mac Jones shows up. I don't understand how that keeps happening.
Played week 1. He got hurt in week 1, right? And they didn't play week 2 against New Orleans. And then he came back for that weird game against the Jags. Then he hasn't played since. It's like...
and what's weird is they're not saying he's out for a few weeks. They're saying questionable, and like throughout the week, he's probably going to play.
Yeah.
And then the day comes and he doesn't. It is weird.
It's like when you're questionable for like 4 weeks, you'd think it's like, okay, we're holding you out to next week. Okay, we're holding you out to next week. Well, we just keep getting to next week.
And I do think that Mac Jones magic has been rubbing off.
Oh, it's gone. It is gone.
That pixie dust is out. So like, I really feel like if they were actually kind of secretly benching him for Mac while Mac is hot, that theory's gone because Mac is done. Like he looks like Mac Jones we were expecting.
No, it's gone. So we'll see what they do.
Who's your pick?
I have the Niners too. Yeah, I'm not messing around with it.
Hopefully
Brock plays. There is a spark here. Jackson Dart's been playing well. That defense can get after it too. Pass rush. If Brock or Mac Jones, how immobile they are, the pass rush.
I'm changing my mind. Give me the Giants. They're home.
Geez.
Give me the Giants. Yeah, give me the Giants. Next one.
There you go. Broncos, Texans. Chris, you've already picked this one. You're taking the Broncos here. Unless you're taking them to lose by 1. It is a 1.5 point spread.
That'd be a crazy accurate pick if that happened, but not give me the Broncos.
I'll take the Texans here. They're playing well. I think the Broncos played really well last week, but I don't know if there's a bigger difference in the NFL from the Cowboys defense to the Texans defense. Plus, Pat Surtain's out really hurts that secondary for Denver, and they really got picked apart a little bit. Riley Moss kind of left on an island out there with CeeDee Lamb. We'll see how he does this week. Vikings-Lions. J.J. McCarthy is back. John Wolford has been signed, just in case JJ's not 100%. They're playing the Lions here off a bye for Detroit. Chris, I think I know where you're going to go here. Even though you claim to be a big Kevin O'Connell guy, but you pick against him every week, so.
I do, because he is a terrible quarterback situation. JJ McCarthy, his first game, we're like, he really seemed to figure something out at the end. After the second game, people were just done with him, and they just
he's only
threw him
played
out.
2 games.
I know, but literally after his second game, people completely bailed on him, and then they think he's terrible.
Whoa, not all of us.
Almost everyone.
Not all of us.
I also really like this Lions team. Trading for all of them in fantasy leagues. I gave up Drake May and Jake Ferguson for Amon-Ra and Daniel Jones, but I have Lamar Jackson, so I didn't need Drake May. And then I have Tyler Warren, didn't need Jake Ferguson. So anyways, I'm all in this Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Love those guys.
Wait, hold up. You gave up Jake Ferguson after all the love you've been giving him all year?
I have Tyler Warren on the same team.
Jake Ferguson, this historic tight end you were bragging about, and now you're like, yep, Tyler Warren's better. So
CeeDee Lamb is back, and Tyler Warren is better. I had Tyler Warren ahead of him.
No, you didn't. You had Jake Ferguson third in the league.
Well, actually, no. Jake Ferguson was playing better. Was statistically the best tight end.
But now you just throw him away.
Projecting forward,
we were projecting forward that day. We had Brock Bowers and Trey McBride at 1 and 2 when they had both been hurt.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, I'm taking the Lions too. Love JJ, but first game back against that team ain't going to work on the road. A lot of problems on Vikings, especially on defense. They do have the long rest coming off the Thursday night game, but I think the Lions get the job done. Coming off the bye doesn't hurt them on the not short rest for the Lions. Panthers, Packers. Chris, do I have to interest you in the Meow Mix podcast?
No, you do not. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, me too. I'll take the Packers.
The spread on this is ridiculous. It's 13.5.
Mm-hmm. Bryce might not play.
And that's, where is that? It's in Green Bay.
It's in Green Bay. Yeah, it's in Green Bay.
But still, dude, I don't know.
Dude, that offense has nothing if Bryce Young doesn't play. Who would have thought we'd ever say that?
I know.
Bryce Young doesn't play. Their offense is gone.
The Packers kind of had that big win. This is kind of a letdown week for you. You're coming off a huge win against Rodgers. You're at home. You know you're going to win the game. I could see them, the Panthers is getting a garbage time score to, whatever. But
I'll say, I think Josh Jacobs going to have his best game of the year. The way the Bills ran all over him, this could just be a ground fest for the Packers this week. They just run it right down their throats. Chris, your Saints taking on the Rams in SoFi. Who do you got?
I don't think Tyler Shuck's first real start is going to be a great one. Adam, this is what's tough for me is I'm going to have to put this game on its own because I do want to see my rookie quarterback. However, I think he's going to suck. The Rams are going to kill him. And the Rams are getting back Puka Nacua, so get ready for Puka to have 18 catches and 250 yards. So give me the Rams.
Do I have to interest you in the fact that rookie quarterbacks are 1-0
Jackson Dart's
LA teams this year?
What was it, Jackson Dart?
Yeah, well, 1-0 making their first career start against an LA
against
team.
The Chargers. Yes, it's a very specific stat. Give me the Rams.
Thought I'd interest you in it. I'm taking the Rams too. Love the Rams here. Coming off a bye too, so rested up, ready to go. Jags Raiders. Chris, in Vegas, both teams coming off a bye, so a double bye situation. Long rest for both these teams. Who do you got?
I hate that Raiders team. I really do. Anytime they start to show hope or Genty starts to show hope, they just go away from it and they're trying to throw the ball to random guys. I don't understand what they're doing. I'm so done with the Raiders. Every week that they're on, and they're supposed to be this cool Raiders history, this gritty team. They just suck. They're not fun to watch. They have no compelling. Ashton Genty is the most fun running back taken out of the draft, and then he's boring to watch in that team. I really hate that team. Give me the Jaguars. Not even for because I think the Jaguars are much better, because I just hate the Raiders. Well, I hate their vibe and everything about them.
Max Crosby's fun to watch.
Is he even playing this week? He got hurt.
I don't know if he's playing this week or not. They've been off for 2 weeks, so I don't know if he's actually playing or not.
But he's not like Micah Parsons. There's a difference.
Brock Bowers should be back, and he is fun to watch when he's out there too as a tight end.
He's been dinged up trying to play through it, which only made it worse because then he just was playing poorly and still being hurt.
He hasn't played in 2 weeks, I think, and then buys for 3 weeks.
But even before that, after week 1, he has been bad because he's been playing hurt, and you could tell that he doesn't move the same.
Yeah, it's been tough. But I'm taking the Jags here. Come on now. Brian Thomas Jr. not getting traded, according to Liam Cohen. That's huge. That's big.
Is he playing this week?
I think so.
Him and Diamond Brown were questionable, I know.
I know Liam Cohen talked glowingly about him in this week's press conference, so I'm assuming they are expecting him to play. Now, I don't know, maybe something happened in practice, but they've had the 2 weeks off. I think the bye week's good for them. Kind of reset, get Devin Lloyd back, hopefully soon, will be big for them as well. Get that defense back into full strength. And they're a defense that forces turnovers, and Geno sometimes occasionally likes to give the ball to the other team.
Sometimes.
I was being nice.
I know Brian Thomas and I think Diamond Brown both had shoulder injuries, but I
hate to see that. More Travis Hunter. That's all.
That's why I know this, because I picked up Travis Hunter. Of like, if they need a receiver, he'd be one of their best options.
I'm gonna try talking and taking the Raiders, because I'm not going to. Last year, there was an award that was given out to Travis Hunter that Ashton Genty thought he deserved, and maybe there's some motivation from old Michael Myers back there.
Cool. There is no one to block for him.
Well, it's not like the Jags got an elite run defense back there.
I still just... when Geno's giving the ball to their team 3 times a game, no. And the Jags force turnovers really well.
Who did Genty light up this year? Was it the Bears? Is that it?
It was the Bears.
That's it? I knew he had
the lit up the Bears, and then the Raiders had their field goal blocked, and
they lost. I knew they lost.
And they lost. Yeah,
I knew they lost. I knew he had a big game. Big one, of course. Now, Chiefs-Bills in Buffalo. Big one in Highmark Stadium. Last matchup for these two in Highmark Stadium, because it's the last year of that stadium. Chris, who do you got?
I hate that it's in Buffalo, because I'm going to pick the Chiefs, but I don't like picking, the opponent in Highmark Stadium. The Chiefs right now, as I mentioned earlier, the Chiefs are playing their best not their best basketball.
Best basketball, yeah.
The Chiefs right now are playing their best football. I know they're going into Buffalo, but they have Rashee Rice back. He's been changing the offense. They look completely faster, better. Everyone is kind of doing a little bit, making this nice overall team offense looking like how it should be with a team with Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce looks better. And then the Bills, their only win in the last 4 weeks has been against the Panthers. And the only real way the Bills have really been able to dominate is if James Cook gets going, if he gets a touchdown or two. It's kind of weird when you have Josh Allen that they're best when they're kind of handing the ball off and just kind of running out the clock. But they don't really have the receivers to compete. I know Khalil Shakir's, pretty solid, and you could try to talk yourself into some of the other guys, but they don't have they don't have Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. Kincaid has nice moments, but they're not the same. So I feel like the game plan for the Bills would be kind of grind this game out, get James Cook going, and then don't let Mahomes on the field. And then the Chiefs are probably just let's keep doing these short passes, get guys moving with the ball, and just try to keep Josh off the field. That's kind of how it works. We have 2 superstar quarterbacks.
One thing, the Bills always treat the regular season matchup as the Super Bowl. They've always taken it so seriously. They really empty the clip of every play they have. They really throw it all out there in the regular season. The Chiefs don't. The Chiefs usually play it close to the chest, kind of just do their usual stuff, game to game, and get ready. And it's actually hurt the Bills, because in the playoffs, the Bills really showed everything of their big plays they want to play. The Chiefs still have a lot left in the tank to go out there in these playoff matchups. But with that being said, I think the Chiefs are going to get the win, because I think Sean McDermott might change up his philosophy a little bit and say, yeah, you know what, we don't need to run a flea flicker trick play that we've been saving for 5 weeks. Let's not put that out there so we inevitably see them in the playoffs again. They'll know what's coming if we try to run it. So
I'm sure the Chiefs have been trying their best to win. I know what you mean. They're not unloading the whole play.
Well, yeah, but they're not running the ring around the rosy, double reverse, this play
I get what you mean, but
before.
They're still the same team going all out. I hate that it's in Buffalo, because they do have one of the best home field advantages. But just right now, the Chiefs are playing their best football. Who did they play last week?
Chiefs, Commanders.
And that was Mariota. Before that was the Raiders, and they killed the Raiders.
Yep.
They're looking really good.
Beat the
Lions before that, and it was without Rashee Rice. And then, they could have easily won that Jags game, too. It's been kind of getting better, and now they're kind of hot. Bills, like we said, this is their only tough game, really, this season, the rest of the way through.
Yeah, they're Trevor getting touched down away from winning 5 straight. That's the difference right now.
Mahomes 98-yard pick six.
Yeah. Could have made a difference. Seahawks Commanders. Commanders back in prime time, baby. Sunday Night Football. Back-to-back weeks for the commies as they take on Seattle. Chris, who do you got and why?
I just hate these, like... I mean, Jaden Daniels is probably going to play.
Yeah.
But like, even last week, it's so annoying having a primetime game when it's Marcus Mariota. Like, who wants that? And I don't know, maybe it's easier on a Sunday to change the time compared to the Monday, because then your whole week's messed up.
You can't change Monday. Yeah,
you can't
Monday's
change it
always
if it's not the
impossible.
day, but
Yeah.
like, it's just so boring to watch Marcus Mariota versus Patrick Mahomes. But anyways, give me the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks a lot lately. Jaden Daniels, I think, had that magic in a bottle season last year, and the whole team stayed healthy and they looked great. The team's now getting hurt. Jaden Daniels looks great when he's been healthy and playing, but he hasn't really been on the field that much healthy and playing. So I'm going to just take the fact that the Seahawks have maybe the best receiver in the NFL, or he's in that top tier guy zone. Jackson Smith and Jigba has been phenomenal. Anytime Sam Darnold doesn't know where to go, he throws it to him and he catches it. So kind of a great team right now. They're really gelling on offense. And defensively, they have a lot of guys.
JSN's a stud. Been saying it all year. Love the guy. Seahawks get the win. They knock off the Commanders here. They're just a better team. They're playing really well. They're off of bye, so they're well rested. And they're going to be ready to go. Commanders off a short week, too. They play Monday night in Kansas City. Have to come back home to play Seattle, so give me the Seahawks. Last game, Chris, your Cardinals taking on the Cowboys. Chris, these were two of your favorite tight ends in the league. You've already dumped off one of them, apparently, in Jake Ferguson.
Oh, Trey McBride is coming off his best game. They have a bye, though, but before that, he had a great game. I'm a little worried for him because he's significantly worse with Kyler Murray than Jacoby Brissett, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, but the Cowboys' defense makes everyone look good.
True, but not as much tight ends. That's like one of the...
Well, when you don't have to pass the ball, yeah, it usually does help.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. Kyler's from Texas, I believe. Like,
yes,
in high school,
he's like undefeated in AT&T Stadium.
I was about to say, he always has played well against the Cowboys. They have a terrible defense. Kyler hasn't played in a few weeks, and then he had the bye. I'm going to take the Cardinals. You've talked me into the Cowboys every week. Last week it burned me. I want to take the Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys are better.
But you're taking the Cardinals.
So I'm going to take the Cardinals because their defense was truly bad, and Dak is coming off a bad game. I want to see him bounce back to know that, like, that's going to be like that.
I'm taking the Cowboys here on Monday night. Dak's home versus road splits are a real thing. He's really good at home. He's really struggled on the road at times this year. So I'm going to roll with the Cowboys here at home. CD's going to, I think, have a big game. I think that offense is going to get rolling, and I trust him in this spot on Monday Night Football. Plus, like I said, the Cowboys, it's kind of like I said with the Steelers. That when they're bad, they find a way to get back in it. When they're playing well, they're going to drop back down for you. They always know their place in the NFL, and they're going to make sure they stay there. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think the Cowboys get the win over the Cardinals.
I changed my mind. Give me the Cowboys.
Oh my gosh.
It's 3 weeks in a row I get talked into the Cowboys.
I wasn't even I wanted you to take the Cardinals. I was on the Cowboys this week.
I really wanted to believe in Kyler in Dallas, but I can't buy into Kyler anymore.
Come on. Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr.
I'm not a Maserati Murph fan.
He's playing well. Is
he?
Yeah, he's actually had a good last couple of weeks ever since that Thursday night game against Seattle when he got hot in the fourth quarter. He's been playing well since.
Yeah.
I'm starting him in my fantasy league this week. He better play well. We're locking him in. Big week against the Cowboys. Shootout. 35-31. Cowboys win.
Lock it in. Cowboys, I'm sorry.
Lock it in. Take the score, Chris. Write it down. You can bet it later. We know you're big on that stuff.
Stop saying that. You make me sound like I'm a gambler. I just like sports. Occasionally like a few $2 bets that you'd make fun of me for, and then
Me and Mac and Ben, we've been on a weird side of TikTok where we keep getting these like famous historical figures telling us what bets to take. We had Ronald Reagan telling us on Sunday night.
You mentioned this last time, madam.
Tonight Martin Luther King Jr. hit us with the bet, and apparently it hit in the first half. So there's the historical figures AI are cooking in their bets, their locks. So not recommending gambling, but if you are, follow the historical figures and what they tell you to do.
That wraps up all our games.
It's not a bad bet. 35-34. 35-31. Sorry, not 34-31.
Well, Adam, next time we record this podcast, we're probably going to have some World Series at the top. Any predictions of where you think the series goes? You know, I'm going to jinx it. I'd respect that as well.
I'm scared. Even though they're up 3-2, confident but scared. Rightfully so. When you have that guy on the other side and Yoshinaba Yamamoto, who's unbelievable, pitched a complete game in the last game he pitched in Game 2. Now coming out here in Game 6. It's a big game. I think the one thing the Blue Jays need to do if they want to win Game 6 is they got to get out to a quick start. Got to force Dave Roberts to be like, maybe Yamamoto doesn't have it. Do we make a switch here? Because we can't afford to lose. We can't try to figure it out. Maybe try to get him to pull the trigger maybe earlier than he would. Get off to a great start because the crowd is going to be phenomenal in the Rogers Center on Friday night. So I like their chances to win one of the next two, especially when Glass now gets out there and it'll be all hands on deck against, I believe, Max Scherzer might get the start in Game 7, which would be a storybook ending potentially for him. Everyone's talking about Kershaw coming in with one out. No one's talking about Scherzer potentially it being his last year and him maybe going out the way he's been able to go out with a great start in the ALCS and then, of course, a good start in the Game 3 in that 18-inning game that everyone kind of forgets about, which has really got me catching up on sleep for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
3 a.m. That game ended. But no, I think they can win
I fell asleep at 11 p.m. that night. I passed out early, then I woke up to like a bunch of notifications.
3 a.m. I was up the entire time, and it wasn't fun towards the end of it. The Blue Jays were, by the way, John Schneider, if they lose this series, you're going to look back at that game, you're going to go, they were playing the freaking spring training lineup in extras because they pulled everyone out in the 7th inning. George Springer is supposed to be back for Game 6, so that's big for him as well. But I mean, I'm confident the Blue Jays are going to get the win. I'm obviously not going to pick against them, but I think it's a tall task and not your usual up 3-2 going home when Yamamoto's pitching Game 6.
Well, I hope that you have the best, and obviously I'm not going to root for the Dodgers, so.
Dang right. Screw them. Save baseball, Vladdy. Save baseball, Vladdy. Hey, Blue Jays, first team to ever go back-to-back to start a World Series game. They did in Game 5.
Oh,
Davis Schneider. Yeah. Babe let him off, and then 2 home runs on the first 3 pitches against Blake Snell.
That's nice, because I just honestly I like seeing the Dodgers upset. It makes my day.
Yeah, it would be good for the sport. The Red Sox beat the Dodgers in a similar way in 2018, and that included an 18-inning game. So that the Dodgers beat the Red Sox in 18 innings. So there's a path here for the Blue Jays to get the job done. They've been playing really good baseball, but you can't rest. You can't get complacent. You got to finish the job if you're Toronto. Chris, anything you want to talk about before we get out of here? Any basketball you want to touch on? Everyone's sitting out, it seems like. Anthony Edwards at a funny moment after Austin Reeves is going off.
Yeah, so right now, there's always the most injuries early in the year. Just guys kind of come back, ramp up maybe too soon. They kind of pull something.
Yeah.
It kind of stinks because like Luka looked amazing through 2 games. Now he's down. Then Anthony Edwards has to miss, I think, like a week or 2 or something. And then right now, Wembanyama is playing. I mean, the only other person playing as well as him right now is Giannis Antetokounmpo, who missed today's game, which also really bothered me because I was excited for that matchup against the Warriors. So that kind of stunk. But I would say Giannis and Victor Wembanyama probably the 2 guys that look the best right now.
Yep.
Luka had a great 2 games, but he's hurt, obviously. I'm excited. Like this season, so far, is a lot of great things. Probably too much fouling. I saw Tim Legler did a whole report. There are like 6 teams committing over 30, like that, or like attempting 30 free throws and work in a game. Last year, the high was like 26 average, and this year, like 6 teams are averaging, giving up 30 free throws or more, which is kind of ridiculous. Some of it's defense, some of it's just, these offensive players are better than ever at, getting foul calls. So they've
all graduated from the James Harden school of just hook a guy's arm and draw the foul. SGA's the best at it. So.
I truly think James Harden, they say Steph changed the game? James Harden altered the game for the worst of ways. Of
well,
here's
Steph
how you trick a
almost
ref.
Did too, but
who did?
Steph. They argue Steph did too, because now all we're doing is shooting threes.
No, but Steph changed the game in shooting threes. But that's not even like a bad thing as much as like stylistically how it's played. James Harden literally was showing how to trick a referee.
Oh yeah,
which is so much worse, and I hate him. I hate the fact that I'm watching SGA is a really fun guy to watch, but it's boring watching him shoot free throws. It is.
I know. But it wins games. That's what they'll tell you. It's like the tush push. It wins games.
But both of which rely on tricking the officiating to like.
Well,
not
technically, you're not tricking the officials into calling fouls because they are fouls.
because you're pulling. No. I literally remember I was little. It was Russell Westbrook's MVP season. I remember watching that
little.
Series. I was what, 12?
You were like 15.
Was I 15?
It was 2017.
Oh my God, you're right.
You were like...
And I was 14. I remember James Harden once grabbed Andre Roberson's arm and then pulled his arm into himself and then jumped up into Andre Roberson. It went like this.
Yeah.
And they called a foul for James Harden to shoot 3 free throws. And that day, I decided to hate James Harden. And that
SGA's not doing that.
He's not, but like that idea of like the offensive player initiating contact and flopping to get the foul really bothers me. I hate it. But that's all I got for basketball. They need to stop fouling as much, but otherwise, it's been really great. Hopefully, some players stop getting hurt.
That'd be good. I mentioned Austin Reeves. He's going off. For
the
Lakers. They're winning games. No LeBron, no problem.
He not only had like 50 points one night, then the next day he had like 30 points, the game winner, and 16 assists. Like he's really doing everything.
Did you see the Anthony Edwards video from that game? He was on the bench, and they called a foul. I forget who they called the foul on. But he's on the bench. He like gets up going, "What the heck was that? Ref, that's awful. That's awful." Looks up, watched the replay. He goes, "Good call. My bad." I was like, that's Anthony Edwards in a nutshell on the sidelines going off, and they'd be like, "Yeah, that one. You probably got that one right."
No, I love it, man.
Basketball's been good. We'll see if it can stay good because every time things seem to go well, something goes wrong with the NBA. Every single time.
That's true.
Yep, I mean, we had a great start. Next thing you know, a coach and a player get arrested by the FBI. That's just
they really like did worst possible timing for that.
Yep.
Yeah,
so we'll see. NBA season's off to a great start. Baseball season, of course, winding down. Game 6 tonight when this video comes out, and Game 7, if necessary, will be on Saturday. Of course, football continues to ramp up. Lamar's back, which is great to see finally for the Ravens. Maybe they can make a push.
He's definitely back, right? He's killing the Dolphins.
We talked about it last week. They might have a chance to make a push in that division. Let's open it up a little bit. So...
Sorry, I clicked on ESPN to check the score of the game, and then an ad started playing.
There you go. Yeah, but no, they have a chance to make a push. Chris, we talked about it last week, so...
They're favored to win the division right now, which is kind of funny that...
They're only, they'll be... If they win and the Steelers lose, they'll only be a game back.
Yeah.
It's possible. We've seen worse divisions, so I'm not going to say it's the worst division ever. The Giants almost made the playoffs at 6-10. So...
Well, they were supposed to be a great division, but...
Yeah, injuries, bad play, the whole 9 yards. They've had everything out there.
Burrow and Lamar hurt.
Do you think the Bengals are really kicking themselves right now with Burrow being hurt? Like the way the division. This was our year.
They probably could win. If you win 10 games, you probably win that division.
You look at some of the losses they have. Like they would probably beat the Vikings. The Jets game, definitely. They would have beat the Vikings, because that was a turnover fest, and, Joe Burrow's probably not doing that. Trying to think of some of the other losses they have just off the top of my head. They still beat the Steelers. Maybe they don't beat... Maybe some of the wins go the other way just because of bad ball bounce, and maybe the team plays differently, who knows. But, yeah, no, it's been a really fun season. The AFC North's going to continue to be interesting to watch. Maybe the most interesting division to watch, even though there's no, true top dog in that division. The AFC West, of course, is going to be fun to watch, too. AFC East is going to be fun. The AFC's panning out to be pretty good this year.
There's 2 teams that are fun to watch in the AFC East.
Well, yeah, but I meant there's a clash between 2 teams.
We were this close to making a video about how the Bills are the only good team in that division, Adam. Saved you.
No, I said the Patriots could be.
You said the Patriots aren't there yet, and then
I didn't think they were. Drake May's come along faster than I thought.
I should do what you do to me about the Dak Prescott. You said the Patriots aren't ready. They're going to win the division.
I said they could be. I said I didn't think they were. Drake May's been a lot better than I thought. I'll admit it. Unlike you, I'm willing to take responsibility. I was going to come on here and say, man, Mahomes
I wasn't projecting. You were projecting.
Man, I was going to come on here and say, man, Mahomes 2 first-half picks. I take responsibility. I jinxed them. But then, of course, as Patrick Mahomes does for me every time, bounces back.
One of them literally was right to Travis Kelce that he volleyball set into the defense.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't watching this week, so I do have to apologize for that. But Blue Jays baseball, priorities.
It was the second time Kelce gave the ball to the defense. That's all I need to know.
They're killing my boy. They're killing him. Trying to get my boy MVP again. They just trying to take it away from him.
I know.
Gotta keep
All
fighting
right.
for him. Gotta keep fighting
Let's
for him.
end this before we go on forever.
Oh, but that's the fun part. Okay.
It is. These are the most fun parts. Last
Yeah.
week, for example, or last episode with Joe, we had the most fun ending.
Yeah, totally no edits in that episode if you want to go check it out. But that is gonna do it here for this episode. Please like the channel, give us a subscribe, go follow us on TikTok, Instagram, check out the reels. We do a really good job. We really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving us the entire time. For my partner Chris Reynolds, I am Adam Sheets. Have a nice night and thank you for listening.